Hello, welcome to Block 4, Place Value, Ordering Integers and Decimals, Lesson 9. I'll share my screen. So, in your previous lesson, you learned how to find the range of a set of numbers. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to find the median of a set of numbers. But before we start, I want to ask you for a huge favor. A huge proportion or number of people who benefit from these videos are not subscribed, and they've neither liked the videos and they haven't clicked on the notification bell, obviously. So I want to appeal to you to support the channel by liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, and click on the notification bell so that whenever new videos are released, you'll be notified. If you do me this favor, my promise to you is that you will continue to receive high quality videos for your learning. Thank you. Before we start, I would like you to pause the video and answer the retrieval practice questions in 4 minutes. Assuming you've paused the video and you've worked through the retrieval practice questions, here are the answers. Let's discuss them. Here, the first question, you were asked to work out the number that is exactly halfway between the two numbers on the number line. Now, remember some time ago, we learned how to work out the intervals. We learned how to work out the intervals on a number line like this. Now, do you remember how we did this? You can see here that the difference between 10, which is the beginning of the number line, and 20 is 20 minus 10, which is 10. Now we have two intervals. So we have to divide 10 by 2 to give us 5. So it means the distance for each interval is 5. So the halfway has to be 10 add 5, which is 5. If we do the same here, we'll see that the difference is 18 minus 10, which is 8. Now we have two intervals. We have two intervals. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So halfway is 14 because we have to add 4 to 10 to get what is exactly halfway between the two intervals. If we apply the same here, we'll see that this will not be so much of a difficult exercise, question 1C, because 18 minus 13 is 5. Now we have two intervals. So 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So it means 13 plus 2.5 will give us the value here. And you can see that halfway between 13 and 18 will be 15.5 because 13 plus 2.5 will give us 15.5. I want you to take note of this because we're going to use the same idea during this lesson at some point in time. For question 2, you were asked to write the numbers in ascending order. Ascending order, remember from one of our previous lessons, we looked at the meaning of this word. It means to write from the least value to the highest value. And here is the answer. Okay. Let's rub this off before we move on. Let's do some new learning. Something you need to know that is really important is this. We need to know what this word median actually means before we even start to answer the question. Median means the middle value of a piece of data. So the middle piece of data in an ordered set of data, or just the middle, but you have to order the data before you can find what is in the middle. In this case, just looking at these counters, it will be easy to spot that this is the middle data. We can see that it is ordered from the smallest to the highest number of counters. So this is the median. What about this one? Have a think. How many counters are in the median pile of counters? Can we actually spot the median? Remember what we said the median is. It is the middle of the ordered set of data. Are these counters ordered from the smallest to the highest? Have a think. Of course, no. So we're going to have to order the counters. So we start with the one counter, the next one counter, next is two counters, and the other one, and the other one. Now we can find the median, which is the middle of the counters that we have arranged from the lowest to the highest. Of course, that's the median. How many counters are there? Of course, two. So there are two counters in the median pile of counters. Sometimes you do not always have pictures. We have been looking at pictures just now, counters. What about if we have numbers? Can we find the median of this set of numbers? Of course not. Not yet. We have to order the numbers from the lowest to the highest. You would also get the same answer ordering from the highest to the lowest. Take note of that. But let's focus on ordering the numbers from the lowest to the highest. Now, when we do that, we have this. So now it's possible to have the median. The middle value is 10. So 10 is our median. What if we include another number in our list? How does that affect our result? Let's say we add the number 18. What do you notice? Okay, of course you notice that the middle values are now 2. We have two values, 10 and 11. Now remember what I said about using the number line skill of finding the interval. What is the new median? Well, we can stick something there like this. We can write something like this to say, okay, I need to find what is going to be the halfway value between 10 and 11. Now you can see that for this interval, the difference between 10 and 11 is 1. Now we have two intervals. If we divide 1 by 2, we know that the value of each interval will be 0.5. So here is what I'm talking about. So 11 minus 10 is 1. We have two intervals. So to find out what each interval is actually worth, we will do 1 divided by 2, which is 0.5. Now it means 10 at 0.5 will be 10.5. So it means the median is actually 10.5. Okay? Okay. What have we learned so far before you do some practice questions? We have learned what the meaning of the word median is. Median means the middle value of an ordered set of data. We have also learned that when you order the data from the lowest to the highest, which is what we focus on, you can find the middle value. And that middle value is what we call median. Sometimes you can have two numbers as the middle values. If you have two numbers as the middle values, you can use your skill of knowing how to work out the value of intervals, hence find the middle, which is halfway between the two numbers, which are your middle values. And then that way you can find the median. Pause the video and have a go at question 1 for 2 minutes. You can take longer if you wish. Assuming you've paused the video and you've worked through this, here are the questions. Let's discuss them. Here, these blocks are already ordered for us. So we were simply going to spot the middle number of blocks. And here, the middle is this one. So it is the middle tower or blocks, stack of blocks, when they are in height order. Question 2, you have to put them in order before you can actually spot the median. So I may also make some towers from cubes, and here we're asked to circle the median. You could simply count the number of blocks that make each of the towers and then order the numbers as figures before you find the median. Next one. Question 2 and 3. Pause the video and have a go at questions 2 and 3 for 4 minutes. Assuming you've paused the video and you've worked through questions 1 and 2, here are the answers. Here is question 2. Here are the answers. By now, you should know that to find the median, you're going to have to order the numbers or the set of data from lowest to highest. Here are the answers to question 3. Here is the answer to question 3. You're told to work out the median result. Pardon me? Let's do some new learning. Here we're asked to write a number on each card so that the median is 7. Would it make sense to write 7 here? Of course not. We know that the median is the middle value of an ordered set of data or numbers. So it will make sense to write 7 in our middle card. Now, if we're going to order these numbers, if we're going to write numbers on these cards so that we have an ordered set where 7 is the middle value, for these first 3 cards, we're going to have to write any numbers that are less than 7. And For the next three cards, we're going to have to write any numbers that are bigger than 7. And this gives us these. It doesn't matter that we have 7 here. We still have 7 as our median. Have a think. Write a different number on each card so that the median is 28. This is an interesting one. It means 23, 23 is the middle value for these two cards because these two cards are in the middle. Now, if we have an ordered data, it means any of these first two cards and the first two cards can be lower than whatever card we have here. And any of these two cards can be higher than any number we have here. Now, remember this when we talked about intervals. Have a think. How do we do this? Of course, you should remember that we can use our interval to work this out. We know that our interval here should be 23. The middle value of our interval should be 23. Now remember the interval technique. We can have the same amount being added to get what's here and what's here. So we can have any values. But the amounts that we are adding to get 23 must be the same amount that we're adding to get the next value here. So this one can be 20, so that we're adding 3, and this can be 26. We can even say let it be 1. So if it's 1, this can be 22, and that can be 24. So we can have different values where the median is 23. We can even say let it be 10. So if it's 10, this can be 13 because 13 add 10 is 23. And 23 add 10 is 33. So we can have different values for our middle card just using your interval skill, knowing how to find out the values of intervals. So this is one of them. Okay, so we choose for it to be 2, the interval to be 2, the value of the interval. We can say let it be 25. So we choose make it 2. Okay, before it was 1. We can make it 2. We can also make it 3. Any number. But you're still going to have the median being 23, just using our interval technique, knowing how to find the intervals of a number line. Have you noticed something? That the sum of these numbers the sum is 46, and so half of 46 is 23. Now, if we choose to work with these numbers, then it means these two cards, remember, the median is the middle value of an ordered set of data. In this case, from the lowest to the highest. So the numbers in these first two cards can be less than 20, any number less than 20. And the numbers in the other two cards can be any numbers higher than 26. Okay, it's now your turn to have some practice of what you've learned. What we've learned so far is that you can have a set of data where you have to use your interval technique to work out the median value. Or you'll be given the median value, and then you have to use your interval technique to work out the two numbers that would combine or that you could add to work out your median. Pause the video and answer questions questions 4 and 5. You can pause the video in 4 minutes to answer questions 4 and 5. Okay. Assuming you've paused the video and worked through questions 4 and 5, here are the answers. Let's discuss them. For question 4, you asked 5 numbers have a median of 8. Fill in the cards to show what the numbers could be. Of course, you can draw 5 cards and then you can write 8 in the middle, and then any numbers less than 8 and any numbers greater than 8 should do. And here are your answers. So you could have someone else could have a different result for their cards. Okay, and you could compare with your partner if you're watching this video with your partner or with somebody you're working with. Question 5, you asked to work out the missing numbers. The median of these numbers is 12. Of course, remember your interval technique. If the median is 12 and this is 10, of course, we can do this. Just in case you don't remember, let's just discuss this. So we know we're going to have this. If that's 12, it means that interval there is 2. So the next number has to be, which is this one, has to be 12 at 2, which is 14. So it's very important that you remember how to find the value of the interval on the number line, which we did in one of our previous lessons. So if you do not know what we're talking about here, please go to that lesson and watch that video. And of course, that number can be any number that is higher than 14 and then 12. Here, the median of this weight is 48. You're asked to work out the missing number. Of course, we can use the same technique we used here. Okay. Pause the video and answer questions 6 and 7. You can do this in 4 minutes. Assuming you've paused the video and you've worked through this, here are the answers. Let's discuss them. For question 6, you asked 4 numbers have a median of 10 and a range of 4. Write the 4 numbers. Now we can think about the median first. So you write your 4 cards. We know we're going to have a median of 10. So we can use that technique we used before. Remember your interval. Okay. So we know we're going to have 10 here. So it means that we can use 1 as the value. We can use any other value, but 1 is a convenient one. So that has to be 9, and the next one has to be 11. Now, the number next to 9 has to be lower than 9. So it should be 8, and that can be 12. So we can see that the range is 4 because 12 minus 8 is 4. Okay. Question 7. You will ask, the amount of liquid in each container is shown on the labels. Work out the median amount of liquid. Here, remember our starter, we worked out that 1000 ml is equal to 1 liter. So this should be 2000 ml. So now, then this should be 300 ml. Now you should be able to order the numbers from the least to the highest and then work out the median. Of course, you have 4 items here. So you're going to have the middle value being 2 bottles, which you then need to find the middle value. Okay, so that's how you're going to approach this to get this answer. Here is question 8 and 9. Pause the video and answer question 8 and 9 in 4 minutes. Assuming you've paused the video and you've worked through questions 8 and 9, here are the answers. Let's discuss them. For question 8, Ron works out the median amount of time that students in his class spend on homework in a week, and the median is 1 hour 45 minutes. Another student says she spends 2 hours a week on homework. What could happen to the median? It could increase or stay the same. Okay, so the median could increase or stay the same. Remember our very first example? When we change the value of the highest amount, that could change the median, or it could stay the same. And here, the median wage of employees at a company is this amount. 84 employees work for the company. 2 of the employees earn exactly £570 per week. How many people can earn more than that? Okay, it's 41. How do we work that out? Is by, again, knowing that if you have 84, halfway between 84, if you've noticed, when we have an even number, we always have two numbers in between. So if we have 84, 84 divided by 2 is 42. So it means 41, if we have 42, it means 41 that way and 41 the other way. So we're going to have 2 cards. So 41 plus 41 is 82. So it means we have 2 cards in the middle, which will give us the median of this. Okay? And the median of this same value will be the same value. So it means we can have 41 people that can earn more than this. Okay. So take note when we have an even number for our data, we always have 2 values that will give us the median in the middle. And when we have odd numbers, we always have 1 number that will give us the median. So that is why we did what we did here. Okay, this brings us to the end of our lesson. So what have we learned so far? We have learned that the median is the middle value of an ordered set of data. We have also learned that using your skill of knowing how to work out the intervals of a number line, you can use it to find the median of questions where you have to work out the missing numbers or where you have to work out the median when you're given the ordered set of data. We also learned that if you have an even set of data, so even numbers in your set of data, you will have 2 numbers in the middle giving you your median value. And you can use your interval technique or your interval skill, knowing how to work out the value of the interval, to find the median of those 2 numbers. We've also learned that if you have an odd number set of data, you would have just 1 number as the median. That brings us to the end of our lesson. Until next time, take care and bye-bye.